I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the VHS Doom podcast. We are your one-stop shop for all things video games, entertainment. You know, we talk about a little bit of everything, and you can rent pretty much everything that you would want at the store when it comes to movies. But we do specialize in trashy horror, and we love it. If you don't love
anything cult, also anything.
What?
I said anything cult.
Anything cult, right? Cult classics.
That goes for action movies, revenge movies, anything. We'll talk about.
We got it. We're your one-stop shop. You know, you just got to be careful when you're in here. You might run into a scab-covered monster who tries
Sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah, who tries to tell you to kill yourself or jump off the roof, and
make you eat his scabs so you become part of his religion.
Yeah, his religion. Wait, that's a new one. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it happened over the weekend during the coronation. Scabby Man thought it was a good idea to become king, so he started feeding a lot of us scabs in that store.
Shit.
Yeah, Jimmy and I were forced to eat them, but you weren't there, so I don't know what happened.
Well, Balthy was there. I don't know. Balthy does his own
thing. he was handing them out though. That's the thing.
Oh, Balthy was handing out the scabs?
Yeah, they're in an alliance now. It's really scary, actually.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Balthy is he's a big fan of Scabby Man, so that sounds about right. Well, anyway, how was your week, buddy? What's new?
It was good. Nothing too much. I mean, I watched a couple movies. That's about it.
Okay, well, what'd you watch?
All right, so I was watching a slasher movie from 1989 called Hell High. It was on the tail end of the slasher craze, pretty much, towards the 90s. Film centers around a school teacher who suffers from a mental breakdown after being harassed and attacked by a group of her students.
Okay.
And
nice.
These characters are fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Sorry for my language. I know we're not supposed to curse on the ship.
No, we can curse. Whatever. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We'll mark it explicit. Doesn't matter.
Oh man, these kids deserve to die.
Well, I mean, that makes for a movie you can really get into, huh?
And in the beginning of it, it's so hilarious. This little girl, I'm guessing it's her sister, I forgot. She's going onto a motorcycle with this asshole guy. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden she throws stuff in their face as they're driving by in a motorcycle. And they flip off and they get vaulted onto this thing of spikes.
Jeez Louise.
It's hilarious. I thought it was in another movie that I remember that killing, but
I feel like when you've seen so many movies, you probably start to mix up where certain things are.
Yeah, I was telling you earlier with one of the scenes in Dead Alive that I thought it was in Umberto Bava's Demons.
Right? Yeah, the baby. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
dude. You know, I ended up watching. Well, before is there anything else that you watched you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think. I watched the Dentist movies. Have you ever seen those?
No, I definitely have not.
The Dentist is from Brian Usna, the producer of The Reanimator and director of Society. Do you remember that
one? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so it revolves around this dentist who is it's a slasher movie, and it was written by Stuart Gordon, who directed The Reanimator. It's this dentist who finds out his wife is cheating. He's a really weird dude. He's really mentally unstable, and the whole movie he starts then just killing his clients as a dentist.
Jeez. Okay.
The second one, I watched both of them. You want me to get into the second one too? First one is from '96, and this one is from '98. This one pretty much it's the same thing again, pretty much. But he breaks out of a mental institution the craziest way. He bites into his arm that he has like a sharp object implanted in,
Yeah.
and he kills his therapist and then leaves the prison.
Jeez Louise. Okay, nice start. Yeah.
And it just gets ridiculous from there with like dental like craziness.
So after he breaks out of the insane asylum, does he go back to working as a dentist?
Yes, for a little bit.
I feel like
In another town under a false, he goes to like a small town and like uses a fake identity.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because at that time, well, it was '90s, but you could probably get away with that.
Yeah, right, for sure. Yeah, there wasn't the internet to fact check someone or do a background check as easily, I guess.
I don't even think there were background checks then.
Right. I feel like this was definitely made by someone with a fear of dentists. Do they do a lot of that sound, like that like drill sound?
Not really. It's more like oral surgery he's like doing to the people.
Really? Okay. I would have expected the noise a lot. Like if that noise at the dentist bothers me so much. So I would include that a bunch.
I hate that part, and then like the fluoride. Ugh.
Oh God, yeah.
It's a weird sensation.
Or when they're like drowning you with water that like they're not suctioning out fast
that's
enough.
Vacuum. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I got to check those out. That's cool. Well,
Clint Howard is in the second one, and then you're not going to believe who's in the first one in the cameo.
Who?
Well, not cameo, but like Mark Ruffalo.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What is he, a patient?
Yeah. Well, no, his girlfriend is. Ken Foray is a detective in it.
Very cool. Okay.
These are fun '90s movies, I think.
Yeah, I love a good fun '90s movie. So
It's funny though. The same company that put out this one, Trimark, they also put out the Dead Alive DVD, and it's weird that most of the Trimark movies are being put out now through restaurants. I'm hoping maybe Dead Alive will be out.
Oh yeah. Well, didn't you just order Dead Alive?
The seller canceled my order.
They canceled it? Oh my God.
Yeah, apparently I don't know how it works. Like, I ordered at the same time as somebody else, and it yeah.
Well, it was probably limited. It was on Amazon, right? It was like a Spanish copy?
Spanish import.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, gotcha. Well, I ended up watching a couple movies, one of which was Dead Alive to prep for this episode, but I also...
Oh, yeah, I did watch that right before.
Yeah, for sure, of course, right?
I was texting you while I was finishing it.
Yeah. But I also, in preparation for my other podcast, the Doombox podcast, I was watching all sorts of Vincent Price stuff to get, just get it fresh in my brain, and I watched, most recently, Last Man on Earth this week, which was just a great rewatch. It really was. It's so nice. The performance is just, compared to like a lot of modern stuff that's like really fast and kind of like just outpaces itself almost.
Sorry about that. Pick up a delivery.
Hey, more Penenstein Jr.
Yeah, it said input and unavailable because somebody was trying to call me while I was doing this.
Oh, heard.
So it
yeah,
kind of it kicked me out, and I had to join back in.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. All right, no worries. Technical difficulties on Mikey's end, not mine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is why I need to get it.
Or should I say, more Penenstein Jr. Dude, that's a quick. You come up with these really quick. What was it before?
Which one?
The one just before.
Oh, it was like risotto babbolini.
Risotto babbolini. It's a me, a babbolini.
I was watching Dario Argento's Deep Red last week, and I thought of that. I don't know why.
Nice. Okay. All right. So I was watching Last Man on Earth by starring Vincent Price, based on the Richard Matheson novel of the same name, which I learned a lot about for my other podcast, for the Doombox podcast. It was kind of sad. Richard Matheson didn't want to put his name on, so he literally like wrote the screenplay and like guided the whole screenplay, but was like ashamed at the last second and changed his name to be, I can't remember what it was. It was like a combination of his his father's name and his mother's maiden name or something like that. Just so he could get royalties from the film, but not have to put his name on it. Like that was messed up.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it was interesting. And then I didn't talk about this in the podcast, but Matheson did interviews later on where he actually said like his ideal combination would have been like a different director. I can't remember who it was, but Harrison Ford playing the Last Man. So
that would have been a good movie.
Yeah, it could have been. I think it could have been, but
even if they do it now, I feel like
I think so. Yeah, I was kind of sad about that because Vincent Price did say like it was one of his favorite roles. He enjoyed the film a lot, and I think that he did a wonderful job like acting that part. So that was a little sad. But yeah, so it was great getting to watch that, and then also obviously watching Dead Alive or Braindead, whichever one you prefer.
I love the Japanese poster for where it's the nurse holding the baby. Have you seen that poster?
I think I have. Yeah, I think I think I've seen that one. The one I was looking at today was it was the theatrical release Braindead poster where it's him and her standing in front of like one of them on like a blue background, like one of the zombies. But yeah, it's that was a fun watch. That was a really fun watch, and we'll dive into that. So anyway, that's kind of what we've watched this week. Yeah, you feeling good? Everything good? Yeah. Not getting too old?
Nope.
Nice. Yeah.
I've actually been able to watch a couple movies this week.
That's nice. I'm traveling this week for work, so I've been in Houston and Dallas and all over Texas. So I'm in a hotel room. If it sounds weird and there's not like my nice, echo reduction, I'm kidding. I did put up some foam in my house, so if it sounds different, that's why.
I'm just in a room that has windows open and they're doing lawn mowing outside.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's your studio. I actually talked on the Doombox podcast about, hey, you guys buy the Doombox shirt and we'll get Mikey a mic. So there are two podcasts right now currently attempting to buy you a microphone.
I have an Xbox mic that can work with my PC.
That's all right. Listen,
it doesn't sound good.
You know what? You sound just fine. I don't. Who cares? But yeah. Anyway, that being said, first of all, anyone listening to this, if you haven't,
buy the shirt.
What?
I said buy the shirt.
Oh, yeah. Anyone listening to this, if you have not already, go give us a follow on our Twitter, VHS Doom Pod on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. You go give us a follow there. And if you want, you go to the VHS, you go to VHSDoom.com. You can find our staff shirts, for if you want to come work with us in our crazy group of demons and scabby men, man.
Wait, there's multiple scabby men? Oh my God.
I know. I got real nervous for a second. You can help us fight off the demons who chew on the boxes. Although Balthazar swears he swore in the last podcast that he did not chew on boxes and it's all scabby. And I'm inclined to believe him. I am.
I don't know. I saw him doing that to Homeward Bound the other day.
No, not Homeward Bound.
The last copy we had in stock too.
No, he wasn't chewing on it. No way.
He was. I saw him.
You know what? You can't really trust a half demon, so it makes sense. I got to keep him in line.
He was asking people to give him head massages too. It's weird.
Huh. That's disgusting, but okay.
I know.
All right. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Well, that's us. And welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the VHS Doom Rental Store. We are so glad that you've decided to come back and use your membership benefits once again. We truly hope last week you enjoyed your gruesome double feature of Cannibal Holocaust and Faces of Death. And we do hope you also enjoyed your brain cleanser of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. We also hope the kids enjoyed the trifecta dog, adventures of All Dogs Go to Heaven, Homeward Bound, and what was the last one?
Balto.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, for sure. So we hope everybody enjoyed everything. We hope you rewound everything. And like I said last time, if you need one, you can get one of those little VHS rewinding machines by the door over there. So you're not bringing back unrewound copies. Yeah. And remember, $3 if you lose your card. Not kidding. But
$40 if you lose the machine.
Oh, well, the machine they're buying. I'm not giving machines out.
You said last episode you were renting them.
No, selling, not
Then
renting.
It came with the membership.
Oh, did it?
I think it did.
I don't know. The terms change on a week-to-week basis, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, Hugh doesn't tell me anything.
Hugh just makes new contracts left and right, and throws them around the store. So I find the ones that I can.
I think he had you sign an NDA for this too.
Yeah. Well, so after Hugh and Scabby and Balthy were in the back room, he's been a little weird the last week. I haven't said anything, but yeah, old Mr. Janus is. I think he's a little worn out. Hugh Janus. All right.
Worn out Hugh Janus.
Hugh Janus? Wait, what was the district manager's name?
Leon Labia.
Leon Labia, the district manager. That's who Hugh Janus reports to, right? I think so. Oh my God. Yeah. So anyway, if you want, grab yourself a staff shirt from VHSDoom.com, because obviously this is a really fun place to work. And if you don't want to be a staff member, you can get your $3 membership card. But if you lose it, Mikey might hit you with a chair. So just be careful. All right.
We're throwing them through tables this week.
Oh, did you bring a ladder?
No, some barbed wire on a table.
Oh, I thought I saw a ladder in the back room. You're probably going to pull that out.
I could use that. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna carry him up the ladder and
then throw them through the barbed wire table. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So don't lose your card. Yeah.
It might or might not be on fire.
All right. Well, this week, folks, thanks for returning all your DVDs. Although I do see some chewing on the boxes. Do it again, and you're gonna get barbed wire tabled by Mikey. But yeah, thanks for returning those, and thanks for coming back. This week we have another great title for you. This week we're doing one title instead of two, so this episode shouldn't last as long, and you can listen to it a little quicker. But we do hope you enjoyed those titles from last week. This week we are diving in to a Peter Jackson film, The Lord of the. Oh wait, no, this is Dead Alive. This is Dead Alive, not The Lord of the Rings. Okay, cool. Well, I'm cool with that, too. I'm kidding. Yes, Dead Alive or Braindead, depending on where you've seen your titles or which version you own or you've watched. We are covering that. Or where you're from. We are covering that this week. Honestly, I think that this is just an excellent title. I think that Peter Jackson did an amazing job with this film, despite the really, really poor box office performance that it had. It is absolutely a cult film and right up our alley.
It's probably the first film we ever watched together.
I think it was. Yeah, I think this has got some nostalgia points to it. I love this film, and I know Mikey loves this film. So we're really glad to discuss it. So before we have these nice people step up to the counter real close and listen in as we talk about it, what do you want to say about the film before we get started?
I just think it's a hilarious fun time, honestly.
Yeah,
this slapstick humor is hilarious. Like when he's slipping on the blood when he's trying to get away from the zombies.
Oh my God, that is it. There's some cartoon homages in that. There are several homages in this movie. That's what I love about
the Evil Dead movies too.
Yeah, we'll discuss a few of those as we go.
That's gonna be a whole other episode.
Right? Yep. There you go. Add it to the list. All right, friends. Well, I agree. I think it's just a ton of fun for everyone. Even the kids, maybe No, definitely
No,
not.
I think it's
Definitely
scary.
not. Not yet. There's an age. What's the age cutoff on this?
I'd say probably like 12 to 13.
I'm going to say teenager. Yeah, 13, 14, 15, depending on their.
I saw it at 15 originally.
Yeah, I'm going to say depending on how squeamish they are in that vicinity before you let the kids jump in. So we'll recommend some kids titles before you take off.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's get started. Step up real close. Don't worry, we won't bite, but Bouthy and Scabby might. All right, so friends, Braindead, or Dead Alive, as it's known in North America, is a 1992 New Zealand zombie comedy splatter film directed by Peter Jackson, produced by Jim Booth, and written by Jackson, along with Fran Walsh and Stephen Sinclair. It stars, is it Timothy Balm?
I pronounce it as Balm.
Balm? Okay. And then Diana, I have trouble with her last name, Pena-Lover?
Wait, hold on, let me see.
Pena-Lover?
Is that what you're saying you are? Or?
Pena-Lover?
You want that?
Pena-Lover. Pena-Lover. Pena-Lover.
Wait, hold on. Is there no... Oh, there is some.
What?
Usually there's like, when I went into Wikipedia to see, didn't have a P-Lover.
Say it again.
I don't know.
Pena
I'm
Lover?
not repeating it.
Did you say penis lover?
No, I didn't.
And did you say Diana Penis Lover? That is rude. Okay. Diana Pena-Lover, Elizabeth Moody,
That's what
and...
I said.
What?
That's what I said.
Pena Lover?
I swear to God.
Elizabeth Pena Lover and Ian Pena Lover.
Why?
Okay, I gotta start from their names again. So it's starring Timothy Balm, Diana Pena-Lover, Elizabeth Moody, and Ian Watkin. The plot follows Lionel, a young man living in South Wellington with his strict mother, Vera. After Lionel becomes romantically entangled with a girl named Paquita, Vera is bitten by a hybrid rat-monkey creature and begins to transform into a zombie while also infecting swaths of the city's populace. So that's the back cover. Let's jump into a few details. So... cinematography was by Murray Milne. It was edited by Jamie Selkirk. The music was by Peter Dasent. Dasent? I really have trouble with names. I don't know why I'm reading the names. Next time you read the names.
No, I'm worse.
Oh,
I start
my
stuttering
gosh.
once I do the name thing.
So,
You don't want like 5 takes of me go.
that's all right. No worries. It was released on the 13th of August in 1992 in New Zealand, and then on the 12th of February 1993 in the United States. It only has a 104-minute runtime, but it's 104 minutes of insanity. And
For sure, insanity.
yeah, a sad note here. The budget was $3 million, so it was Peter Jackson's biggest budget at the time. And unfortunately, at least in the United States box office, because I don't have information for global, it only made $242,000. So it was a flop.
Which is wild.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how people thought that would be a flop. That just seems too much fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, I don't know. So like I said, it was definitely Jackson's most expensive film up to that point. And it actually did receive positive reviews from critics, but it just bombed in the theaters. Since, though, it has received a cult following, and it's now widely regarded as one of the goriest films of all time. You turning your camera on and off?
No, I'm not. I'm not even touching it.
Well, it was turning on and off. FYI, something weird's going on with you, buddy. All right, so let's jump in. I see you. So let's jump into the plot. And then we'll kind of give some notes as we go, because Mikey and I both watched this within the last 2 days. to make sure we were ready, and we'll have a fun time talking
In the
about
last
this
few
for
hours
sure.
for me.
Well, yeah, for you. Goddamn soda pops. The indigestion's real. Okay, so in 1957, zoo official Stuart McAdam and his team smuggle a captured Sumatran rat monkey, a hybrid creature that resulted from the rape of tree monkeys by plague-carrying rats, out of Skull Island. Dude, when they're in the zoo and the little zookeeper guy walks over and like picks up the monkey arm, like the chewed off monkey arm, and he says that, like, I even wrote down like his quote.
I put some
He's
notes in there too for differences.
right. He said, uh the story goes, these great big rats scuttled off the slave ships and raped the little monkeys on the island. I was like, oh my God, that's terrifying. Anyway, so yeah. Also, the mention of Skull Island was cool because, a little homage to Kong and
And he ended up directing it too.
yeah, so that was fun. And they were taking that quote unquote monkey off of Skull Island. So,
Yeah.
just some cool stuff there. Anyway, so during the team's escape from the island, warrior natives who demand the return of the creature for good reason. During that, Stewart is bitten by the rat monkey, resulting in his dismemberment and killing by his crew, who fear the effects of the bite. It was really funny when they like start seeing bites on different parts of his body, and they're like, "What was the word they were using?"
I don't remember.
I think Zingaya. I think that's what they were saying. Zingaya. And then they'd like chop his arm off, or like Zingaya and chop off his other arm or whatever. It was really funny. Note though, the prosthetics and makeup were by Bob McCarran and Marjorie Hamlin, and the creature and gore effects here were by Richard Taylor. Some of the just best creature and gore effects, like practical, that I've seen ever, I think. What are your thoughts there?
Yes, there's some of the best kills, like when the nurse first gets killed,
Oh
or
yeah.
like with the mother's arm. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. Oh man. We'll get to a little story I'll tell about how I was eating pizza with garlic sauce. And
I was eating ramen at the time.
we'll talk about the mother's issues, but anyway. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, after he's dismembered, they take the monkey and they put it on a plane and they get paid for it. So that monkey's going to Newtown. It's shipped to the Wellington Zoo by the survivors of the expedition. And then we get to New Zealand. In Wellington, Lionel Cosgrove lives in a Victorian mansion with his domineering mother, Vera. When he was a child, Lionel's father drowned trying to save him at the beach, supposedly, and the incident has haunted him into adulthood. To Vera's dismay, Lionel falls in love with a Spanish Romani shopkeeper's daughter, Paquita Maria Sanchez, who is convinced the two are destined to be together. Convicted. She's convicted of murder. No, she's convinced. I just can't read. But that's okay. When the two visit the Wellington Zoo together on a date, Vera follows them and is bitten by the rat monkey, and then she kills the animal in the process. Bro, when she stomps on that rat monkey's head and squishes its eyes out.
It was overboard, honestly.
Oh, I was like, wow.
The point where like the eyes are coming out and stuff.
Creature effects, man. Creature effects. Very cool. That was a very cool little stomp. But anyway, over the following days, she grows increasingly more decrepit. Her skin begins to peel, and her ear falls off during lunch with friends. When she's trying, okay, so she had been interested in getting into this like club, right? I can't remember what it was called. It was like Wellington Institute of Women or Welfare.
Yeah, and like empowering women, and then like when she was like doing like putting her makeup on, her face ripped.
And she goes, "Oops." I was like,
I almost threw up when he got like the super glue for it.
Yes, that was so unfortunate.
The whole time like things are happening to her, I'm eating this ramen and it's like,
Yeah, well, we're about to get to my dinner story because that was wild. So anyway, yeah, so he tries to super glue her torn skin back to her face. She puts on makeup, and they go downstairs to eat with this like man and woman who are a part of this group that she wants to join.
they were over the top and ridiculous too.
Yeah, wild. She like can't even hold her fork and knife still. She's like convulsing because she's sick with a fever from this thing, and she's starting to get these like pustules all over the place, and they're like pulsating, which is a really cool effect. Like when she's got the one on her arm that's like pulsating out of her arm. I thought that was a really cool one.
Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah, but anyway, so they're eating dinner, and then she picks up like just a hunk of meat and like bites into it, so some foreshadowing there. And then they end dinner like quickly, and the husband is like, well, don't you have pudding or something like that?
I couldn't stop laughing when he said that.
Right, like, come on, where's the pudding? And they brought out a custard. so the son is like, yeah, well, we don't have pudding, but I have custard. And so he starts eating slowly. This man starts eating the custard slowly with a spoon. And between the first bite and the second bite, one of the mom's pustules explodes into his soup. So it's like pink pus right in the middle of the soup. Now the soup is slightly like yellowish almost, right? Or whatever, the custard, it's kind of yellowish. So I ordered pizza because I'm in this hotel room, and I'm eating pizza, and I always get a garlic sauce because I want to dip my crust, bro. So I'm eating the pizza, and I'm dipping my crust into garlic sauce when this pus goes into the, the fucking custard, and I'm like, because he scoops up the custard with the pus in it and puts it in his mouth. So I am like, yeah, I was like, I wanted to go get another slice of pizza, and I couldn't do it.
I was eating lunch before we were recording, and I was watching it, and right at that part, I started eating. I was like, "Oh God, no!"
Yeah, it's funny. Like, it doesn't like the creature effects, like the fake blood, like whatever. Like, that doesn't get me. But the pus thing, like that. Also, she has, when she first starts getting like these pustules, one of them pops and squirts all over the picture of the
Picture frame of her
dad.
husband.
Right,
Yeah.
the picture of the dad beside her bed. That one got me first, and I was like, oh. And then the custard thing happened, and I'm like, I think I'm done with pizza for tonight. So I finished that today for lunch. Anyway, good stuff, bro. Wild. Oh yeah, and then her ear falls off into her own soup, and she eats her own ear.
Yep.
Dude, wild. Okay. So anyway, the mom then does appear to die before reanimating rather quickly as a ravenous zombie and killing the attending nurse McTavish, who also turns into a zombie, before Lionel locks them both in the basement and sedates them with animal tranquilizers. So yeah, that kill of Nurse McTavish is wild because her entire head gets ripped backward, and it's just hanging by like the skin or whatever.
And then he starts feeding the like neck area. He's like giving all the zombies food.
Right. Once he gets all of them together, we'll get there. But yeah, it was that was a really good one. That was a really good effect. So yeah, kudos to these guys for doing that. All right. So yeah, Lionel locks both of them in the basement. He keeps them sedated with animal tranquilizers, and then he goes and he visits Paquita. And Paquita's grandmother gives Lionel a pendant for good luck. Vera is able to break out of the basement, and she gets run over by one of the trams that goes through town, and like gets shot into Paquita's shop. But Lionel tranks her before she attacks them. That was
so funny.
That was awesome. All right. So then we get into actually the only part of the movie where Peter Jackson makes an appearance as the Undertaker's assistant.
Oh, that was so fucking funny.
Yeah. So at Vera's funeral, Lionel tranquilizes her to keep her from attacking the mourners. Well, before they show this, they have the Undertaker come out and he's talking to the priest. And he says, I'm having a lot of trouble with the embalming process. Well, he goes back and Lionel has snuck into the embalming room to trank his mom so she doesn't kill everybody. But she's getting like overfilled with this like green liquid. So it just starts.
No, I think the green liquid was coming out of her and they couldn't embalm her.
Well, yeah. So she's like, it's getting overfilled
And then
almost.
Peter Jackson picks up his sandwich and runs and takes a bite.
Dude.
As she's like oozing from like every like part of her face.
Like well, he gets slapped by the Undertaker too.
Yeah.
The Undertaker turns and slaps the crap out of him because he didn't.
As if it's like a normal thing that happens.
Right. Like, oops, my
that was
bad.
a big thing in the 80s where like the either the funeral director or like his assistant was eating and putting it on the body while they're doing it.
Right? Isn't that a weird? That's like a weird trope, but that is a trope. You're right. So yeah. All right. Well, that's Peter Jackson's appearance there, but fun, and watch out for it. It's a fun one. He did a good one in that. So later, while returning to the graveyard to administer, oh, you know what? Before we move on, when he falls through the glass like window into the church with his mom in his arms because she woke up, and everyone's like, "That's a weird way to mourn." I was like, yeah, that would probably get you locked up, right?
I love how over the top the movie was, honestly.
All right. So later, when he returns to the graveyard because he wants to administer more tranquilizers to his mom because she's not dead or not staying down, even though she's dead, he gets accosted and beaten up by a group of hoodlums who presume him to be a necrophiliac, apparently. Vera suddenly bursts from her grave and attacks the hoodlums. Well, to be specific, one of the quote-unquote hoodlums goes and starts peeing on his mom's grave. And what's the line?
You're peeing on my mom.
You're pissing on my mother. And then Vera specifically reaches up out of her grave, grabs him by the manhood, and like pulls him down and then shreds his whole chest.
And it looks like he's like humping the ground.
Yeah.
As he ripped apart.
Yeah, that is wild. So then we have our third official
this whole scene
zombie.
is wild. What's gonna happen?
Oh, so much stuff happens, right? So there's a bunch of commotion. The priest comes out because he hears the commotion. And why don't you give a rundown on the scene of the priest?
So he comes down and he says, I kick ass for the Lord. And he starts doing his like martial arts moves to these zombies.
Oh my god.
And then all of a sudden, he just gets thrown and impaled on this like thumbs up sculpture on a grave.
Right. Oh my god. Oh,
what was the other line he said though?
What is it? Yeah, so he says, I kick ass for the Lord. But in the beginning, he said, there's something unholy going on here. Something like that.
Oh, it was time for divine intervention.
Oh, time for divine intervention. I kick ass for the Lord.
All these things.
Bro, that priest. Who played the priest? Do you know? I don't know off the top of my head.
For the living version, Stuart Devaney.
Okay.
Devaney. And zombie version is Stefan Paps.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so that chaos is insane. The priest just goes ham and like
a lot of karate kicks.
Yeah, karate kicking the crap out of the zombies that are the hoodlum zombies that are coming after him. And he like dismembers one or two, and then he ends up like somehow he gets bitten by. Oh, he kicked the head off of one of them. It flies up in the air.
He kicked the legs and the head and the arms off of one of them,
which is hilarious when he kicks the legs out. It made me laugh out loud. But then he kicks the head off. The head flies up, and then the head flies down and bites him. It's so wild. So he
I
ends up
just
getting
liked that
bit.
the thing that impales him was like a thumbs up or pointing up statue.
Right, yeah. So then he gets thrown onto this like statue that has like a finger pointing up in the air. Well, anyway, so after all of that, I guess Lionel feels bad. So he takes not only Father Magruder, but also one of the hoodlums, like the lead hoodlum, the gang leader. I think his name was Void. Anyway, he takes them back to his house because he wants to somehow, for some reason, take care of all these zombies. He locks everybody in the basement, but he also brings them up and sits them at the dining room table and feeds them, which is great. That's just a great scene of zombies trying to eat, right? I think in that scene, he has to open up the nurse's head and put like spoon food down her throat. The gang leader dude Void stuffs the spoon into his mouth so hard it comes out the back of his head. That was funny. The priest and the nurse start to get frisky.
That was the weirdest part of it.
And then when that happens, the nurse...
His uncle shows up.
Yeah, his uncle shows up, so he has to run out of the room. Well, it sounds like there's like a porno being played because of the nurse and the priest.
That's your dad's old stag movies.
Oh, your dad's old stag movies. Is that the one with the donkey and the girl in Tijuana or whatever? So anyway, the nurse bites off the priest's mouth. That one was a good effect.
Oh,
that
man.
One, yeah, that
the
one
way
was
it looked
tough.
afterwards too.
Yeah, that looked wild afterwards. But then they copulate and procreate.
In like 2 minutes, they have a baby.
And in like 2 minutes, they have a zombie baby born, which is wild. Wild.
It's like one of the best zombies in the movie.
Yeah, crazy. So anyway, Lionel breaks up with Paquita to keep her safe, and then the uncle comes back to the house and finds the tranquilized dead bodies in the basement. And then he has something to hold over. Yeah, to hold over Lionel's head because he wants a part of his mom's estate, right? So the uncle blackmails Lionel into giving up the house and his inheritance, and then he invites everybody over for a housewarming party, which is just the best idea ever, despite
during a zombie outbreak.
Right, despite Lionel's objections.
And it just goes into a gore fest at this point.
Right. Well, some of the things that kind of are skipped in the notes here that I want to make special mention of, because I mean, there's just so much. The person who gave Lionel the tranquilizers, the German vet who lost his papers.
The Nazi scientist, you mean?
He's absolutely 100% a Nazi evil scientist. But
he was like,
oh, go ahead.
You're about to say it.
No, go ahead.
No, you say
it. So he says, oh, I feel persecuted. I've lost my papers. Why do you keep coming and talking to me? But it's just
I'm a veterinarian, not a scientist.
I've been persecuted. Anyway, yeah. So that was hilarious. The evil German vet. I love that they used that as the scientist. And then, oh yeah. So the priest and the nurse's baby, for some reason, well, because he's a good guy, I guess, Lionel tries to do the right thing and takes the baby in the like stroller to the park. And the scene where he's watching the mother like do things and he's trying to do the same things for the zombie baby is hilarious. Well, first of all, he's got the baby trapped in the carriage by barbed wire. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I saw that.
So, and then the baby gets out.
The tapes are chewed on, that's what happens.
Right. The baby gets out. He has to like chase it down before it kills some kids, and then he picks it up and he just starts wailing on it in the face, like boom, boom, boom.
And these two mothers are just sitting there laughing, like they're not laughing, they're freaking out.
What? What are you doing? Yeah, so that
He then
was
puts it in the bag.
he stuffs it in the bag and hits it again and hits it. And then when he gets home, he throws the whole bag into the basement. Yeah. So anyway, all that happens before the party. I just wanted to make some notes there because I made notes while I was watching it, and those really made me laugh. So all right, so the uncle's friends all come over, and this party ensues. So during the party, Paquita, who Lionel did break up with, and had been on a date with the milkman or something from the beginning,
Pharmacist.
the pharmacist, yeah, something like that. She just leaves him high and dry and comes up to the party because she wants to see what's going on. So she discovers the zombies in the basement. Her and Lionel make amends, and Lionel explains to her that, a lot has been going on in the last few weeks. She's able to convince Lionel to administer poison to the zombies to finally kill them, even though he doesn't want to. That was really kind of sweet. He's like, I don't want to kill my mom, but he does it. And then, unfortunately, we find out, because the bottle falls down and rolls over, that the bottle that said poison on it actually on the back said animal stimulants. So they know they're in for a good time. Yeah, they end up exploding out of their grave because he had buried them after he quote unquote poisoned them. So he and Paquita narrowly escape all the enhanced zombies who burst into the house upstairs and slaughter all of the party guests and turn all the party guests into zombies as well. They all reanimate. They all attack more people. And then we get into what I would like to call just a symphony of blood. What were some of
put that in just the show notes?
Yeah, it really was, because he came in with a lawnmower and turned on the lawnmower, and literally they played some classical music, and he just went to town. So during this house party part, I don't have a bunch of specific notes. I'm not going off a script on this. I really just wanted to talk about it because it's so wild. What were some of your favorite parts of that?
When the girl's head goes into the lamp.
Yep, she becomes a human lamp. Yeah,
a
zombie lamp. That was cool. I thought, there were a couple really cool effects throughout this point. The lawnmower, awesome.
I just remembered the head and the half of the head in the food processor.
Yep, half the head in the food processor. That was pretty cool. They tried to food process the baby, but the baby wasn't having that. When the baby bursts out of that girl's face, so there's a baby face coming out of a human face. That is one of my
favorite kills in the movie.
That was a lovely, lovely, quote unquote, lovely effect. I said it here today. Lovely. Also funny for me, one of the funniest parts of that was when, so the gang leader dude, that's now on steroids, has been chasing Lionel all over the house. Well, Lionel essentially cuts him in half, or somehow he gets cut in half. So his legs are in one part of the building or outside of the bathroom.
All his organs are in the other part of the building.
Well, his intestines come out, and it starts farting, but the intestines are alive. So now the intestines are chasing Lionel through the house
as a creature
creature that just farts at him and is trying to strangle him with intestines. That was insane. At this point, I don't know. I feel like these episodes are you've watched it and this is a spoiler, or you haven't watched it and turn it off before you hear this part. So, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to turn us off if you don't want a major storyline spoiler. But for those of you who've seen it, when he opens up the trunk in the attic, and when he makes his way up in the attic and he realizes his mother was a killer, and his mother had killed his father and drowned him alongside another woman, that was a plot point that they kind of mixed into this insanity that was ensuing all around.
And then the entrails come out of there too.
Yeah. And come to find out, like, the uncle really was a badass. Do you remember when the uncle just took, like, 2 knives, one in each hand, and, like, cut up, like, 10 zombies?
He had he had a pile of like body parts.
Yeah, so, I mean, the uncle was a jerk, like, for real. Like, he
And a
even was
rapist, a disgusting guy.
gonna be a rapist and, yeah, like, really just do bad stuff. But he was a badass when it came to killing zombies. But then we get to, like, the climax.
We don't think the movie's gonna go, but it does.
It does. They do. So, Big Mama Vera on animal steroids comes back. So the uncle makes his way into the basement in the attempt to escape from all the madness from the party. And he runs into his sister, Vera, who is now a giant rat woman, like, with the biggest exposed breasts that you have ever seen.
And butt. It was very
And
weird. As he was walking.
that you've ever seen. That's the biggest creature, like, most disgusting creature I've ever seen in a movie. And she's got these, like, foot-long fingernails and, like, just a rat face. And
Yeah, she looks, and like the face is like slowly coming apart.
right. And she says, like, she's like, Lionel, come to mama. Like, and starts chasing him and Paquita, because really after he's gone ham with, like, the lawnmower and the uncle's cut everybody up, there's really not much. There's, like, nobody left. Like, everybody's dead. You know, all the zombies are chopped up and done. So this is it. They end up on the roof. Somehow, and they climb up the chimney. That was it. And Mama meets them on the roof and starts, like, they try to get off the roof. She's swiping them. She knocks Paquita off. Paquita's about to fall off the roof. Well, she ends up opening up her giant monster stomach under her giant monster boobs and re-envelops Lionel into her body like she has unbirthed him. Oh my god, dude.
I feel like this movie, like the whole thing, was Lionel in his head just coping with his mother's death.
Bro, like, that was insane. Well, you know what? He had gotten back his little trinket, his, like, protection trinket, and he pushes it out of her belly and gets out, and she ends up, they end up getting off the roof.
Right away.
Yeah, like, getting away. And
As the cops are coming.
As the cops and fire are coming, because a fire's broken out in the house. So, yeah, at the very end, he is about to toss away, like, his little trinket there, his, like, little necklace deal. And she goes to, like, Paquita goes to stop Lionel from throwing it away. And she's like, no, but he said, it's fine. And, like, threw it, you know what I mean? Like, on the ground. I, like, halfway expected, I mean, obviously I've watched this before, but, like, the first time I watched it, I halfway expected that, like, a zombie would come out of nowhere and just kill him. And then that would be, like, a wild twist ending, but it didn't happen. So, anyway.
I did forget about one of the things that made me laugh.
Oh, what's
when
that?
The mother eats Paquita's dog, and she's like, "Your
yeah.
mother ate my dog!"
And he pulled out the tail, like the whole tail from her throat.
The whole thing, the whole dog.
Yeah. Oh, that was sad. Yeah, I forgot about that. Paquita had a German Shepherd or something. Yep. Not anymore.
Was that day.
Yeah. So anyway, that sums up the plot. Let's talk a little bit about production notes. So, principal photography took place over 11 weeks on location in and around Wellington on a reported budget of $3 million, like we said earlier. The film had its origins while Jackson was filming his feature film debut, Bad Taste, in 1987, which I had never watched.
It's so good.
Is it?
Me and Jimmy, before it was called Dab of Death, it was called Bad Taste because of that movie.
Oh, was it? I gotta watch it. I've never watched it.
It's so good. It was shot over a few weekends with, like, his friends.
Nice.
And, like, it's so good.
He stars in it too, right?
Yeah, and like the effects are crazy for even just like that low of a budget.
Nice. Wonderful.
The aliens are funny too. I have a T-shirt with it on.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Like maybe I'll watch that today. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so he met with writers Fran Walsh and Steven Sinclair, who were also interested in creating a zombie film, and the three spent the next several years conceiving this project. The film was shot on Super 16 millimeter as opposed to 35, so that it was more of the budget could then be spent on effects. The film's special effects were crafted by Bob McCarran, as we said earlier, and Richard Taylor, with some miniature models being created by Jackson himself. I believe.
I'm guessing the miniatures is the rat, right?
Maybe. I think. Go back and watch the movie again at some point, and I think that the miniatures are the trams in some scenes, not all scenes, but when they're in the town, sometimes I think that the town is a miniature model. Check it out.
It looked like, yeah.
A lot of it looks like a real town, and then some of it looks like miniatures. So I don't know. Maybe that was it. Who knows? But we could probably dive in and find some more details and see if that is the case or not. Okay, so great note here. For the film's climactic scene wherein Lionel massacres a horde of zombies with a lawnmower, it was said that there were 300 liters of fake blood used for that scene, which would be 79.2 gallons of fake.
I mean, it looked like it. One of my favorite deaths also was the guy who got his bottom half ripped off.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I saw the effect how it was done on Tumblr years ago, a picture of it.
Nice.
And his legs were under the prosthetic for the legs. He was under the floor.
Oh yeah. You know, I assume because you said you like the top half of the head in the blender.
Yeah.
I assume what they did was they put a blender on a counter. And then they put the guy up under the counter and put his head up and spun him around on something underneath.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Those are always really cool. That's one of my favorite
things in that movie.
Yeah, those are always really cool. That's fun. Anyway, all right. So the film was subject to a lawsuit after its release in Bradley versus Wingnut Films. It was alleged that Braindead had infringed on the privacy of the plaintiffs by containing pictures of the plaintiff's family tombstone. I guess in the graveyard. I don't know.
I didn't realize that was a real cemetery at first.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was in the scene of the cemetery where the priest and Paquita are talking before they move into the funeral. That seemed more of a real cemetery. I don't know.
Because the other one didn't really, because why would there be a thumbs up or pointing up statue?
Yeah. Well, anyway, after reviewing the New Zealand judicial authorities on privacy, it was stated that the present situation in New Zealand is that there are 3 strong statements in the High Court in favor of the existence of such a tort in this country and an acceptance by the Court of Appeal that the concept is at least arguable. Legal language in New Zealand language is hard. This became one of a series of cases which contributed to the introduction of tort invasions of privacy in New Zealand. So controversial stuff, I guess. Anyway, they did actually film at the Wellington Zoo in Newtown. So that is on site.
I will say New Zealand is a beautiful country. I was there.
Yeah, right? It does. It always looks really pretty. So
that's where they shot the Evil Dead TV show.
Cool, nice. I really like that. I like that show. If any of our listeners are going to New Zealand at any point or want to take a vacation to New Zealand, if you want to visit the store where Lionel and Paquita first met, that is at 29 Sutherland Road in Melrose, Wellington, on the corner of Rodrigo Road and Sutherland Road. So cool. Tells you exactly where it is. The park scene with the children's play area and the baby is in the Wellington Botanical Gardens. Cool. Yeah. And then, so the veterinary clinic that they went to was actually a veterinary clinic. It's located on 20 Standen Street in Karori, Wellington. So very cool. Anyway, all right. So critical receptions, Rotten Tomatoes, even like as of today, the Rotten Tomatoes rating is like an 89%, which is like unbelievably high on Rotten Tomatoes. The average like Google rating is like I want to say it was like an 8 out of 10 or 7.5 out of 10. It's like a really high rating.
A lot of
So
these cult classics, they'll fail in the box office, but years later they'll be like beloved. Like The Thing was like that too.
yeah,
The Thing
right.
was a flop for Carpenter.
Yeah. So, and there are some really good comments online from critics. One, Dead Alive is extremely gory and exceedingly good fun, thanks to Peter Jackson's affection for the tastelessly sublime. So yeah, it has really good ratings across the board.
He needs to return
Um,
to horror.
yeah. Well, you know what's funny? At the time of its release in Variety magazine, David Stratton gave it a positive review, calling it Jackson's best film to date. I,
The
I
man who
mean,
went on to make the Lord of the Rings movies.
right? I mean, hey, I still think it's one of his best films to date. I'm gonna keep that
It's my
opinion.
favorite.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, and then also, so that was like reception at the time was really good. And then even retrospective reception as of today, like I said, Rotten Tomatoes is great. But Braindead or Dead Alive placed at number 91 on a top 100 list produced by Time Out magazine after conducting a poll with several authors, directors, actors, and critics who've worked in the horror genre. Simon Pegg, actor and comedian and friend of Jackson, wrote in his autobiography that Braindead is one of the main influences on his 2004 zombie film, Shaun of the Dead.
Which
So,
is my favorite zombie movie of all time.
oh, what a good film. We'll
Such
cover
a
that one at some
we
point.
need to do an episode on that one, Hot Fuzz, and then the World's
And
End.
The World's End?
Yeah, did you see that one? It was like an alien invasion movie.
No, I never saw that one. I've
Oh, you
seen the
got
other
it's
two.
Nick Frost, and Simon Pegg are stars of it. It was
Huh,
written by them.
cool. I'll have to check that out. All right. Well, I have a couple things on my list now. So, cool. All right. Well, so as far as accolades and awards, it actually won a lot of awards. Let's see here. In 1992, it Timothy Balm won Best Actor at Fanta Festival, and then Bob McCarran and Richard Taylor won at the same thing, Best Special Effects. It won a Golden Scream Award for Peter Jackson from the Amsterdam Fantastic Film Festival. New Zealand Film and TV Awards. It won Best Film, Best Male Dramatic Performance, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Contribution to Design in 1993. At the Saturn Awards, it won Best Horror Film and Best Special Effects. And it also won Best Genre Video Release. So there are just a ton of accolades for this film at the time. So, yeah, that's...
I think it's like the best '90s horror movie.
I think it is too. So that's all the notes I have. That is all the notes I have for Dead Alive or Brain Dead, depending on where you live. And what you should do today, fools, is check that out. So I guess let's see. We're about 40 minutes in. Plus, we had 20 minutes on the other recording that got messed up. So we're at about an hour. So yeah, friends, thanks for stopping by to the store today. I think let's go ahead and get them their 5 movie recommendations because, you know, that's what comes with their membership, right? So we got Brain Dead or Dead Alive, 100%. What else are we going to suggest to our fine folks here,
We're gonna
Mikey?
suggest that slasher movie Hell High,
Ooh, Hell High.
1989.
Nice. Okay. Yep. Take
And
that.
the 2 dentist movies.
2? Okay.
1 and 2, yeah.
So that's
That's
4
4.
movies. We absolutely have to make a suggestion for the kids. I am going to take a second. I'm going to look up this title. All right. So, my recommendation for the kids this week is going to be the classic Walt Disney picture, The Fox and the Hound. Get ready to cry. Have you watched that?
I don't remember that one. What?
Hi, I see you on
Hi.
camera now. What is it? Mike X Long?
No, read it all together.
Mike Oxlong? Mike Oxlong. Say it out loud. Go ahead.
Mike Coxlong.
Mike Oxlong. Mike Oxlong. That's the most creative one you've had. So it's spelled
really?
Mikeoxlong. Mike Coxlong.
It's like Mike Hunt.
Mike Oxlong?
Mike Hunt.
Is your name M-I-K-H-U-N-T? Mike Hunt? Okay, let's recommend this kid's movie. Holy shit. So the Fox and the Hound was released on July 10th, 1981. It will make you and it will make your kids cry. What a lovely movie about friends that shouldn't be friends, but they're friends anyway. Check it out. All right. So Mike Oxlong, what are they taking home then today?
Small Soldiers.
God, Small Soldiers. What a good movie. Yes.
I saw that in theaters. I love that movie.
So for some reason, in the last episode, I threw in a bonus like free movie for them. So they got their 5 rentals plus 1. And I guess we're doing that again this week. So we're going to say you're taking home Dead Alive or Braindead, whatever you want to call it. You're going to take home, what'd you say? Hell High.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take
The Dentist 1 and 2.
The Dentist 1 and 2. And then you're going to take home The Fox and the Hound. And I guess on Mikey this week, he's the one taking care of that bill. You're also going to take home Small Soldiers, that's a solid movie. I haven't watched that in years, but I like that one a lot.
I love that one a lot. The different creatures.
Oh, so good. So good. Okay, friends. Well, that's it. Grab your popcorn. Go ahead. Get it. Grab your candy. Come on. Bring your stuff up here. Let's get you these movies. We'll check you out. You guys have yourselves a wonderful week. Thank you so much for stopping in. And we'll see you a week from now. And I'm telling you, if you chew on those boxes, look at that copy of The Fox and the Hound. Look at it. It is brand spanking new, 1981. New.
It's pretty hard to get Disney VHSs right now. So
I will let Mikey not only suplex you through barbed wire on a table, he will also break several light bulbs over your head. Don't chew
and then
on.
Abdul the Butcher with the fork.
I will let him poke you in your shins with a fork from the break room. Don't you test me.
A rusty one that SCABBY Man's been touching.
Yeah. I heard he did something to Hugh with that fork.
Janus.
Jesus Christ.
Does Leon Labia know about it yet?
I'm going to have to call old Labia. What's it? Leon?
It's Leon.
Old Leon Labes.
The Labes. The Labinator.
Okay, that's it. We're done. Go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Go check out our website, vhsdoom.com. We're a couple of idiots who just talk and laugh. So I hope you enjoy it.
Shout out to the Dab of Death podcast.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to old Dab of Death Jimmy, Dab Jimmy. And, shout out to the Doombox podcast. If you like a lot of details about some cool stuff, go check that out. All right. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful week. We're so glad you stopped by. We'll see you next time here at the VHS Doom Rental Store and podcast. Peace.